a brand new Digimon manga, news about the new anime Digimon Ghost game, and much more. Everything's coming up, Karn House. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to a news video. It feels like a while since we've done one of these, although it's actually only been like 3 weeks maybe. Excuse the slightly different setup. I did a stream with my friend Scarfy last night and I haven't moved it back to filming mode. But the past few days I've had some pretty good news for Digimon fans. So thank you to Wikimon who broke a lot of this news that I'm going to be looking at. First of all, we have this September 2021 calendar that was revealed for Digimon going forward. The first thing that is pretty shocking is that this shows that Digimon Adventure 2020 has at least 67 episodes rather than the 66 that we first assumed, or were straight up told on the Toei Europe website. It's very possible this 67th episode is something of an epilogue or a transition episode, but that does mean that Digimon Adventure 2020 is going to continue airing through the end of September. As you can see, the next episode is on the 5th, 12th, 19th, 26th, that bringing us up to a 67 episode count. But interestingly, the weekend following that 67th episode is going to be a new Diginavi, which is going to focus on Digimon Ghost game news, and specifically the Digivice V, which releases the next day in Japan. And this is very interesting to me. I don't know how Ghost Game is going to shake out. We'd all assumed that we would get the Digivice V the same kind of time frame that the new season would be starting. However, it's now starting to look like the Digivice V is going to release and then at some point Ghost Game is going to start. Now, obviously, looking at this calendar, it could very well be that the week after Digimon Adventure 2020, Digimon Ghost Game will start airing. So the 26th is going to be that 67th episode of Digimon Adventure 2020. It's possible that the 3rd would be the first episode of Ghost Game, but I don't know whether they're going to do it back to back like this, or maybe it could be the 10th. I am starting to worry that it might not even start until the end of October, towards the 31st. I'm a little bit disappointed by this. Hopefully it will be close to the release of the Digivice V, but it's just a little bit of a shame to me. I think that we're going to see a lot of Gamamon's Digivolutions leaked like pretty much straight away, but also I'm really curious to see that news, so obviously I'll be covering the Digivice V's release like intensely. But that's about it for September news, aside from the fact that the DIM card holder and the Dynasty of Evil DIM card is coming out. We'll quickly jump over to Humulos's website, which gives you a better idea of how these DIM cards shake out. And you can see here the Dynasty of Evil is going to be Zurumon to Pagumon to Ghostmon, and then a lot of other evolutions, including Pumpmon and Noble Pumpmon, which I'm really happy about. I love those Digimon. This feels like a very Halloween-y DIM card. There are a lot of Impmon Digivolutions on this. We got Wizardmon, Balmon off the Trial DIM card, which I just got, as well as the 2010 version of Beelzemon. That does indicate to me that maybe this was originally supposed to be an Impmon DIM and they've kind of revised things last minute, but who knows. Anyway, on to the bigger news. Initially broken, I saw it from Manga Mogara RE, is that Tenya Yabuno is going to be making a brand new Digimon manga, which I'm super excited for, starting on October 4th in Saikyo Jump, which is like a kid's magazine or a boys magazine. And the first art we got was this one, showing what looks so much like Hiro from Digimon Ghost Game, alongside a Pulsemon, Koromon, Mochimon, Patamon, and Bokomon. And of course we all went wild. This was very reminiscent of V-Tamer, where we have the protagonist in the anime and the protagonist in the manga. All sorts of theories going around. Is this a prequel? Oh my god, Hiro has goggles. He doesn't have goggles in Ghost Game. But today, this morning, we got this tweet from Tenya Yabuno, clarifying that this new manga is called Digimon Dreamers, that it will be in the November issue of Saikyo Jump, but November issue means publishing in October. On October 4th, it is regardless so unrelated to Digimon Ghost Game, the anime from the autumn, so we do know Ghost Game's coming out in the autumn still, and it is a short comedy planned for kids, around 10 pages each time. And here you can see key art, which shows off Pulsemon as the partner, Koromon, Patamon, Mochimon, Motimon, and Bokomon again. And interestingly, yes, the protagonist has been completely redesigned. This is not Hiro. He does still have some of Hiro's kind of quirks, like this very distinct kind of triangular hair shape, but this is a completely original character. This is not Hiro. He's got different clothes. He's got these kind of like ski goggles, almost looking goggles. I like that they've got these arrows there either side, which you can see in some other Digimon media. Yeah, he looks like a good protagonist, and I do like the idea that this is more aimed at kids. I'm wondering if this is a more slightly comedic, light-hearted take on a kind of like Digimon VB manga. That might indicate the Digimon Ghost Game is going to be a little bit more serious in tone, closer to kind of like Tamers. Yabuno also said that he will do his best with Pulsemon so that he can convey the fun of Digimon to kids, so please support him, which of course we will. Can't wait to see some fan translations of this this manga, and that finally, at the time of submission of the notice cut, the boy's character was not solidified and the design was changed. Pulsemon is still the main character, also V-Tamer is also welcome. So that's him saying that they initially submitted this manga idea and we're just kind of using Hero from Digimon Ghost Game as like, well, here's the current protagonist, so that could be who is the manga protagonist, but ultimately I think they decided to move it away a little bit, and I was very excited at the idea of there being like a anime version and a manga version of Hero, very much like how we had anime Taichi in Digimon Adventure and manga Taichi in Digimon V-Tamer, but I think it's a little bit less confusing, especially for kids, if we do have these two completely separate properties. And again, the idea that the Ghost Game protagonist is not the manga protagonist might hint that the anime is going in directions very different to this manga. People are also a little bit disheartened, what I can tell from my comments and stuff, that this isn't a very serious manga, that it's comedic. However, V-Tamer itself, while it went places, was also very lighthearted. There's a lot of slapstick and silly moments, so I wouldn't rule out Digimon Dreamers having a lot more to it, but its main focus being comedy, but there's always going to be drama to kind of match that comedy a little bit, or else it would be a very boring manga. But overall, I'm very excited by this. I think it looks really intriguing. Pulsemon looks awesome, and I'm really excited to see him get more focus. You can see that the protagonist does have a Digimon VB looking thing. It looks to be the Digimon VB rather than the Digivice V because it's got the black straps, although it could be a completely unique manga Digivice which just resembles the VB, kind of like how V-Tamer Tai had the Digivice 01 and then Taichi from Digimon Adventure had the more traditional Digivice, or I guess the second revision of the Digivice. It just feels like a traditional Digivice to us, but I'm willing to bet it's basically just a Digimon VB, which I think is also exciting because that means we're probably going to see lots of different versions of Pulsemon's Evos, Runamon, Namakemon, Boutmon, Bulkmon, all of these Digimon, which is something I've been really hoping for, and I hope we also get in Digimon Ghost Game this idea of branching evolution rather than one straight path. I am curious about these companion Digimon too. We've got Koromon, Patamon, Mochimon, and Bokamon. Obviously that would be like Agumon, Patamon, Tentamon theoretically. I'm wondering whether these might jogress with Pulsemon, because in the VB you can jogress Digimon to get to different stages or kind of jump yourself ahead. So I am wondering whether or not Pulsemon might end up jogressing with these individual Digimon, but I do see a lot of V-Tamer in this with the kind of companion Digimon, like the Gabumon and Gomamon, etc., that would accompany Taichi on his journey but weren't his partners. So I'm very excited to start reading this in October. Again, I really do hope the fan community is willing to translate this, because we don't get to read these things unless you speak Japanese without the fan community, so I'm super excited for that. And that's about it for now. I will of course be covering Diginavi when it comes out in October, and of course the Digivice V, I was always going to be covering that. I am really curious now how this timeline works out. We have the Digivice V and Digimon Dreamers releasing within the same couple of days as each other. The Digivice V coming out on October 2nd, Digimon Dreamers coming out on the 4th. Is it going to be that Ghost Game starts that weekend too, the weekend after? I don't know. But we do have autumn for certain, so it's going to be soonish. Although I think winter technically starts in January, so I guess we'll see. I will also cover this very quickly before we go, and that is that Digimon Survive did get rated in Australia. Now, a lot of people went wild at this. That means Digimon Survive's coming out soon. Like, oh my god, it's getting ratings, and not necessarily. As far as I know, the Australian ratings board doesn't work by reviewing the full game. There's a lot of games coming out. It would take a long time to play through a full game every time one got submitted. So usually it's that the company submits a video representing the work for submission, and then I guess hopefully nothing falls through the cracks. If we take a look at the classification website in Australia, you can see that Digimon Survive has been rated as a PG with mild fantasy violence and coarse language, so Agumon's probably gonna say fuck. There are themes. Oh, its themes are PG of mild impact, its violence is mild impact, and its language is mild impact, but there is no drug use, no nudity, and no sex, so that's good to know. And it was submitted for classification on the 27th of August, but again, this doesn't indicate anything. It is a good sign that they are submitting it to ratings boards, which means the game is probably in a more finalized state, but there is a lot of things that happen in the game development process, and this is just one classification of many. If we start to see like Japan ratings, PEGI ratings, Taiwan, Korea, things like this come out, that is a very much more exciting thing, because that means that a lot of regions are getting rated. However, a recent example I would state is Cyberpunk 2077, which went gold and then got delayed. So currently the shareholders report did push back Digimon Survive to Q3 2022, but these are all estimates. Previous reports had it being like Q4 this year. I think they just don't want to disappoint investors by saying it's coming out so soon. So Q3 2022 is very likely for Digimon Survive, but it could come out sooner. I think what Bandai needs to do now, if they are submitting it for rating, is a little bit of transparency with the audience. We've been waiting a long time for this. We were told there would be an update in the spring. It's fine if they don't have that update, but you need to tell your fans. Bandai Namco has this bad habit. They did it with Elden Ring, Tales of Arise, of just going radio silent till there's something to talk about. I'm not asking to be told release dates. I'm not asking to be given developer update. I'm asking for a tweet that just says we're still working on it, it's still happening, but things have happened. COVID, whatever it may be. Communication is key. Anyway, that is my Digimon news roundup. It feels good to be talking about Digimon news again, and that's only going to ramp up into October and beyond, so I'm very excited. Let me know in the comments down below what your most excited thing from this news roundup is. Obviously, I'm still most excited for Ghost Game, but I think it's nice to have this manga to also look forward to, and I'm really excited for Diginavi and to see this new PV they're going to be showing off there. But let me know yours in the comments down below, and a very quick thanks to the channel members, my sovereigns, Andrew Sobel and Night 12. Holy crap, guys. Thank you so much for your continued membership as Sovereign. The Digidestined, Anthony Bontomasi, Reese Williams, Sad Uncle Callum and Crimson Dragon Slayer, thank you Digidestined. And the Tamers, the Blessed Rain, Errant Harpy, Emily, Mike McNulty and Theo Navarro, thank you Tamers. And to everyone in the Karn Club, thank you for becoming a member. Hope you're enjoying those early access videos. I'll see you next time when we go digital. Digi News!